Joe, just for starters, talk about how Stronghold is doing going into his work this morning.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, he's had 3 nice consecutive gallops over here, kind of done everything right. He broke his maiden here. He trained as a 2-year-old here for a good, 5 months. So it's kind of like coming back home for him, but he's taking it in very well. And we'll give him a nice, just kind of steady maintenance 5/8 drill here and have him ready to go on Derby Day.
That was a heck of a maiden race that he came out of.
Yeah, that's
Here.
kind of when we were, had Kentucky Derby dreams. He broke his maiden here pretty impressively and galloped out like a monster. So, that's when Talamo, who rode him that day, said, "Hey, he'll get 2 turns, no problem." Wallers sent him in as a 2-year-old. They broke him in Florida and sent him to my string here in Kentucky. And he'd been training here at Churchill from pretty much from the get-go. And I ran at Ellis first time out, and then back at Churchill here.
Baffert obviously goes without saying is such a juggernaut out in California. And your horse finished second in 3 stakes, was it, before winning the Santa Anita Derby?
He was finished second in a couple, and then he had the breakthrough performance at Sunland Park where he won, and that kind of catapulted us to winning the Santa Anita Derby.
Just talk about having a horse that you hope is a Derby horse in California, where this year, of course, Baffert's horses weren't eligible, but he's been so dominant in those stakes races.
Yeah, he's strong. Anytime you're going to run against or run in a 3-year-old dirt stake in California, you're going to have to go 3 deep, to beat Bob Baffert. He's got really, top quality horses, and we were fortunate enough to get through them, and here we are.
And so talk about the satisfaction, like you said, of getting through them and winning the Santa Anita Derby.
Yeah, I mean, that's his race. I mean, he's won it I don't even know how many times. So, to beat him the way we did, and I liked how he finished in that race particularly as well. So, I'm hoping that this extra Derby distance here, should be right up his alley.
I think it's hard sometimes for people in the East to judge the California horses because it seems like the top is very good. It's just not very deep. But
Right.
But you better ignore those horses at your own peril.
Yeah, I mean, if you really kind of gauge the West Coast quality, I would say, look at Muth. Look what he did in the Arkansas Derby. He kind of devastated those horses, and I was running against, all the top West Coast horses. Nisos, who was a really good Baffert horse that got hurt, and my horse ran second to him. So the quality is there. It's they don't really realize it because we kind of live on an island in California with those horses. But you've seen time and time again that the Santa Anita Derby winner has proven to be a factor, definitely a big factor in the Kentucky Derby.
Did you ever consider shipping away from California just to get away to ship away not from California but from Bob?
Well, we were really on the fence, maybe about 2 weeks out from the Santa Anita Derby, whether we were going to run in the Bluegrass or the Santa Anita Derby. We kind of elected to stay home for him, one less ship for him, and then, hopefully run a big race and then come straight to Kentucky.
And again, put in perspective for your career, winning a race like the Santa Anita Derby and what it means as far as getting a horse here to Churchill Downs.
Oh, it means a lot, because I have a deep field of really top quality grass horses, and I've had that through my whole career. And I just kind of like to develop more and more dirt horses as well, so we can kind of, have, a really nice mix of horses in my barn, and to show that, we can get the job done, whether it's anywhere in the country, Kentucky, to California, in big quality dirt races, and hopefully take them here and be successful on Derby Day.
But I guess the one thing about grass horses in California is Bob's not there.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know what though, you're seeing a lot more of Bob on the grass as well this year. He's running in graded stakes on the grass, as well. That usually wasn't the case, but yeah, he's kind of poking his foot in the waters there as well.
Okay, we had the draw last night. You drew post 18. Talk about that post and just talk about the field in general and how you think it shapes up for Stronghold.
Yeah, I mean, I think the plus is he's got tactical speed, and he's on the outside. So the good thing is there, we're gonna hopefully avoid all the traffic congestion on the inside there. He's got fierceness to the inside of him, and fierceness to me is a horse that needs to be forwardly placed for his best. So I'm hoping Antonio can kind of follow Johnny, into a good spot going into the first turn there, and just kind of let the pace of the race determine if we're stalking or more mid-pack.
And put what this means in perspective for your owners, the Wallers. They go how many generations back with this horse?
They have the family, a couple times over. You can go all the way back to, I think, the second dam, and they've kind of developed this whole family. I have, offshoots of them in California as well. But, I mean, hats off to Rick and Sharon. They're really quality. They breed maybe a handful of horses every year. But they do an excellent job at what they do, and they love their horses, and for them they've been big supporters of mine as well since I've started training. So to kind of have that family, nucleus and get here with them with this kind of horse, it means a lot.
But going into this race, you feel like you got as good a shot as anybody, as good as Pletcher, as good as Chad Brown, as good as Brad Cox.
Yeah, my horse shipped well. He's never finished worse than second in his career, and like I said, every step of the way he's taken the next jump up, and I see him kind of continuing to improve. He's got a really great mind on him, where big crowds, all this stuff, it doesn't faze him. He likes it, and those are the traits and the things you're going to need to when you go into a 20-horse field here. You're going to need a horse that can kind of conserve his energy and know when to use it when the gate's open.
But you mentioned you have a lot of grass horses, but where was the Derby in, as far as actively trying to get that kind of horse?
I mean, this horse just fell into my lap. But we've been the last, I'd say, 2 years trying to focus on buying more dirt horses. To buy more good quality dirt horses, you have to have a bigger pocketbook to get that done. Grass horses are a lot easier to buy. So I've had owners here recently that have been able to ante up and kind of be able to hopefully compete in that category. So I think that's a big part of it.
You think this could be the first of many Derby horses to come?
I sure hope so. I love this. This is like my dream. My first job was here at Churchill Downs, California, but I went through the University of Arizona racetrack program, and after I finished that, they sent me out here with a gentleman named Chuck Simon, who was training for Ken and Sarah Ramsey at the time. So I mean, my first memories of working at the racetrack were looking at the Twin Spires here and dreaming one day I could train a Derby horse.
Looking to expand your Kentucky operation?
I would say so. I definitely, with these purses and the opportunities here, to me, to not look at it that way, you'd be foolish. So we're here to stay. I've got horses at Keeneland, I've got horses at Churchill, and we've kept it year round the last couple of years, and we're looking to keep it that way.